Hey guys, welcome back to Hype RC. In today's video, we have another new release from INJORA. We got in the Diamond axles. Now these are a +4mm with a laydown servo mount. So we're going to install those on our new IR40 FJ build that we just did. If you haven't seen that video, I'll have a link at the end of this one so you can check that out. Let's get over to the bench and see what comes out of the box.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and take an up-close look at what comes out of the box. So it does come in some neat packaging. INJORA always does a great job with that. They've marked them on the ends for what color and front and rear. We'll go ahead and take a look at the rear first. So it does come with some hexes, extra screws, and some washers in there. And then let's take a look at the Diamond rear axle itself. So this is super sharp looking. Very nice, very smooth. That ought to glide over the top of rocks very well. So that is very, very sharp looking. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front one next. So in the front one, we get a bunch of goodies with this. So this does have some, looks like servo spacers, bushings, and then here's the axle itself. So there's the laydown servo mount. It does come with bearings throughout. Now it does come with a long servo link, and it does come with a short drag link in this bag as well, and some hexes. It looks like you get some washers and some more spacers, lots of screws, and some shims. So very nice. They give you everything you need in this package. And then it looks like we got some more hexes and shims and some nice bolts in there. So let's go ahead and get the factory ones off this. We'll set them side by side with these diamonds and take an up close look at them. All right, guys, now that I got the standard axles off the IR40 FJ build, let's go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison with the new Diamond axles. So one thing that these all have in common is they are all aluminum and they all have ball bearings throughout, but that's where about the commonalities end. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rears first. So the two major differences I see on the rears right off the bat is there is no rear pumpkin. So you're not going to be able to put like a brass cover to go ahead and add more weight low down, and that the mounting point for the links is actually different. So these are actually canted outwards, which is going to help you with articulation as opposed to like the straight shot that you get with this one. Let's go ahead and take a measurement across the hexes. So I have +5 hexes on here for this build with the standard ones, and these measure about 3 inches, 320 thousandths across. Now, with the standard hexes that come with the diamonds, they look just to be a little bit wider, and it actually is. So this is 4 inches, 340 thousandths. So these are a nice wide offset axle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front ones. So let's go ahead and take a look at the front axles now, and I'm seeing a couple major differences right off the bat with these as well. Of course, the first one is that it does not come with a diff cover for this, and that is a little disappointing because this one upgrade of a brass diff cover lowers the center of gravity and moves the weight forward on my rig, and that is something that you really want on your crawlers. The next one I'm seeing is for the horizontal servo mount on the standard factory one, you have to go ahead and chop off the original servo mount for the TRX4M. As we're on the Diamond axle, this is how it comes. These will not fit a standard chassis. This is way too wide and will end up running into the chassis on articulation. And then the next thing I notice is that the front steering link sticks out a lot further on the standard one. Let's go ahead and get a measurement on that. So this sits at about 1 inch, 700 thousandths, and then we'll go ahead and take that measurement the same way on the Diamond, and then this is much narrower. So we're literally sitting right about 1 inch, 600 thousandths. So you almost get an extra 1/8 inch clearance on the front steering link itself. Now, this does come with a short drag link, which means you can mount a shorter arm to mount up to your servo, but I don't see a lot of advantage in that because you lose a lot of torque with the shorter arm than having the longer arm on there. Now, the knuckles and everything seem to be about the same. Let's go ahead and get a measurement across the hex on these as well. So we'll start off with the Diamond axle, and this sits right about 4 inches, 325 thousandths. It looks to be a little bit more narrow than the +5s on the standard axle. Let's go ahead and get a measurement on that. So this sits at about 4 inches and 60 thousandths. So these are actually a little bit more narrow on the front and a little bit wider on the rear, which is actually very good for your crawler. Now, I went ahead and bought the overdrive gears, the brass knuckles, and the brass C-hubs, and we're going to go ahead and make sure that those mount up on these Diamond axles. I'm going to go ahead and get started on that now, and we'll take an up-close look at them. All right, guys, so we can go ahead and verify that the brass casters and knuckles do fit on the Diamond axles as well as the overdrive gears inside here. So the last thing we have to do is install these back on the IR40 FJ and then take it out for a crawl. Let's get to it.
All right, guys, let's get a quick weight on our axles. So I am pleasantly surprised by these Diamond axles. They actually weigh quite a bit more than the standard axles, and the standard axles actually have more brass on them. So the front axle for the Diamond set is actually 83.7 grams, and then the front axle for the standard with more brass on it is only 76.4 grams, and then the rear Diamond axle is 46.2 grams, and then the standard one is 43.4 grams. So we actually have a lower center of gravity and the same amount of forward bias with these Diamond axles. I am extremely impressed with that. Let's go ahead and get these guys installed.
All right, guys, I had an absolute blast getting out and crawling the IR40 FJ build with these new Diamond axles. I am extremely impressed with all of the custom upgrades for the TRX4M that INJORA has released lately, including the IR40, the new MB100, brushed ESC, the extra wide chassis to accommodate for the new horizontal servo mount, and last, these new Diamond axles really just cap this build off. So let's go ahead and talk about the pros and the cons of these axles. So it's basically all pro for me. They come with ball bearings. They come with stainless steel CVDs. They're ultra smooth for crawling over the top of the rocks, and they look absolutely killer. I like mine in black for this build, but I think those silver ones would also look really cool on a few builds that I've got upcoming in the future. So let's go ahead and talk about the one con that I can think of, and that might be that some guys don't like the +4 width on these, and that's the only thing I can come up with for a con on these. Personally, I love it. They fit this IR40 build absolutely perfect. So 2024 is starting off really good this year. We've got a ton of new builds and a lot of projects coming up, so make sure you hit that subscribe and like button to catch those. But don't forget to support your local hobby shops. Bash, crawl, repeat. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. We'll catch you next time.